All right, so just a follow up to the last video that I did where I showed off the speakers and tested them and everything. I said that I was probably going to take them apart, take a look inside. Wasn't sure if I was going to do a video or not, but I said, let's do a video on it. I like watching videos where people take stuff apart. Maybe you do too. I don't know. So we'll go ahead and we're going to start with this one since this has all the controls and everything on it. And it was the volume knob that was a little scratchy, although as I used it more, it was getting better and better. So we'll go ahead and we'll open this up and hopefully there won't be any surprises. Another thing that I didn't notice until after, it's a little bit of a dent here in the speaker grill. I'm hoping it's probably metallic and that's how it vents so easily. Otherwise, be interesting to see what I can do with it. So that'll be one thing to be addressed for sure. Hopefully this screw, actually, let's start with the smaller one. What is this, a PH2? I have no idea. Let's reach, barely. All right, let's see, is that? Oh, they're not gonna come out. Maybe just a little more. Hopefully there's no hidden screw anywhere. Gotta be careful because there's definitely wires and everything here. These wires are a little... Okay, I think I can open this up a little bit more. So it looks like there is enough slack that I can at least look inside a little bit better. I don't see any signs of leakage or anything, at least here. I'll have to look at this board next by removing it. Everything looks like it's okay, but in order to get to these knobs here, I'll have to, well, I could technically probably just spray deoxit in this way without removing the front panel, but I'd really like to remove the front panel mainly just to fix the grill here. So let me go ahead and take care of that real quick. Okay, that should be enough to remove, or not. Interesting. Is there any other? I don't think there are any other screws holding it in place unless it's underneath the board here. Hopefully it's not also glued on. Well, I guess I'll just keep taking the screws out and remove this board and see if there's anything underneath. All right, let's see. No, I don't see any extra screws or anything, so the front grille should just come right off. Unless, again, it's glued in place, which would suck. But at least now we can get a closer look at this side of the board here. It looks like we do have some connectors, so at least this can be removed safely. The speakers are soldered directly on both ends. Makes sense on this end here, but on I/O board, I'm not sure why they just soldered it directly and didn't use connectors. We can remove these at least, and there. Of course, this side's soldered on, but at least I can get at that. Sola brand capacitors, never heard of that brand before. Also, BJP, I think that says. I'll have to zoom in after the fact. But yeah, these don't look like they're leaking at all, so I'm not going to mess with them. We are just going to go ahead and deoxit these knobs here, these potentiometers, and maybe even in the headphone jack, even though I don't expect to ever use it. I'd like to be able to get that board out too, take a look, and I want to take a look at the I/O jacks there, because again, like I said, underneath that piece of plastic, it's got all the labels on it. I can feel spots for potential additional input-output options. I wonder, yeah, I should be able to get in there easily. And finally, the I/O, or whatever you want to call it, the ports, the jacks. Oh, that's just a cover. Well, full of surprises today. Well, yeah, if you look down here, there are options for additional jacks down there, so I don't know if it's coming through or not. Let's see. Can't really get any good lighting in here, unfortunately. I'm trying manually holding it. There we go. So yeah, so there's options in there for additional jacks, but clearly they're not using them because they don't need to, right? So everything looks good there. I don't see any passives at all. There's just wires and that's it. So, but at the very least, it should be simple to get a closer look at the this board here. Capacitors on here are Max World, and some more of these BFPs here, and then one that I can't read, but I think it says SM. No idea. And there's some kind of an amplifier here. That's going to be really tough to... But if I read it correctly... SEC... something. I can get a picture of it. SEC 705A, and then additional marking KA 22065. So I'll have to do a search for that online and see. Like I said, I'll also get a picture of it just to overlay on screen so it's a little easier to see everything. But yeah, it's a relatively simple board otherwise. So I'm glad that there doesn't seem to be any damage inside. Gosh, it looks like a mess when I see it like this. It's starting to separate. Grab a spudger. Hoping this will turn into a quick video, and I've got almost 20 minutes recorded already, although a lot of it is just filler, I guess. Stuff that I can skip. There we go. Okay. So, looks like they just wrapped the fabric around, and the excess they didn't bother trimming, they just shoved it in there. Glued it in certain spots, but not everywhere. And it's plastic, so that little divot there is permanent, unfortunately. I mean, I could probably heat it up and soften the plastic and then apply some pressure to it, but I run the risk then of melting it, and I don't want to do that because I don't know how much heat I would need, and I don't know how much heat it would take to damage the fabric, so I might just have to live with it. I don't know. I mean, it looks, there's nothing about it that gives it any sense of directionality, so I could just install it upside down, possibly, and then I wouldn't necessarily see that. Let me see if that would actually work. Oh yeah, that would work, so I can just do it upside down. Cool, problem solved. In fact, if I look at the left speaker, there is that kind of not quite concave, but a little bit, so it's possible that grill was just installed upside down. I don't even know if I'm going to put the screws back in, because it'll be nice to be able to remove that for cleaning and stuff like that. There's the cone. No idea. Not a speaker aficionado or an audiophile or anything, so I can't tell you much about it, but it is 4 ohms, 5 watts, and I can't see what that logo shows, but I'm sure someone might recognize it. Alright, well, enough blabbing. Everything looks good inside, otherwise I'm going to get some deoxidant on these, and we're going to put this back together. Cool, that'll make it easier. This one was fighting me a little. There we go. Alright, where's my deoxit? Got a little bit in this little dropper bottle here. Get some here and here as well. And then just spin the knobs around to coat the insides and clean everything up. And oh wow, it moves a lot more freely now. They were a lot tighter before. Cool. I think that should be good. Alright, let me get everything back together. I'll do that off camera. This video's gonna be long enough as it is. I was hoping it would be an under 10-minute video. We'll see if I can still get it down to that. We'll get everything back together and give it another test. Alright, back together. I didn't bother taking this one apart because I figured it's probably going to be the same on the inside, just with less components, obviously. And I definitely did not put the screws back in so that I can just remove that easily. I will take this apart off camera later on so I can remove the screws behind this as well, so that, again, it is also easy to remove. I did flip it upside down so that the concave part isn't showing. I think it'll be good enough. Of course, now what I gotta do is plug everything back in, and if you recall in the last video, the cores that it came with had some styrofoam melted onto them. It doesn't affect the performance of the cables, but still didn't want to deal with it, so instead I went on Amazon and bought some replacement cables, just from mono price, nothing fancy. And then to connect this speaker to this one, I got this. I wasn't expecting it to be as thick as it was. It was labeled as just a digital coax / subwoofer cable or whatever, but I guess I should have known better. Like I said, I'm not a huge audiophile, so I didn't really pay attention to the specs. It was just a good price and single RCA cable, so I'll be able to get everything connected. Let me do that now, and then we'll do one last test. Alright, now for the moment of truth. I also apologize for the Moyer pattern here. That's not the actual display, it's just how the camera's recording it. I went ahead and put the Earthworm Jim game back in. This is going to be Earthworm Jim 1, first stage. And there's sound coming out of both speakers. Volume works. So just a treble. Treble works. Let's see if the bass works. Definitely. All right. Yeah, pretty loud too. So I'm happy that everything worked out. No more crunchiness when I adjust the volume. So yeah, again, super simple project. Probably one that a lot of people can do. Did you guys think this video? I know nothing super exciting, but hopefully a little entertaining. So if you guys have an experience with speakers yourselves or anything like that, go ahead and post it down below, or any kind of conversation related to retro. Leave a comment below. Otherwise, thanks all. I'll catch you later.